All right, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Catching up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on the 1010XL app. We do it live on Facebook and then shared all over podcast platforms and social media channels. And Grammage, of course, does a great job with that each and every time I'm here, Tuesdays and Fridays, which I love doing. Brought to my friends at Team Tommy Mack, just a group of great businesses locally / regional. They can take you wherever you need to go. They're there when you need them, and that's why they're on my team, and more are coming on board, of course, with football season fast approaching, with all the excitement going on. I know, and look, you, some listeners from out of town, I know you feel the same about your team, or maybe you don't, but I know here locally, man, we're getting really, really excited about our Jaguars going into 2024, so hopefully we can that'll become a reality. Lots to get into today. And take a look around the NFL. We'll take a look, a very interesting story out of the NBA, but real quick, and then we'll get into our Jaguars. Is there a free agent that's still out there that you'd like to see the Jags pick up to complete the puzzle? We'll talk about that and whatever else comes to mind. Before we do, let's say good morning to Grammage. What's up, Grammage?
Happy Tuesday, sir.
Yeah, happy Tuesday. It's not bad. It's 4th of July week. It's Tuesday. It's kind of like Thursday.
If you live in Jacksonville, and especially if you've been here for a long time, you understand. Yep. The 4th of July here is like Christmas.
Yeah.
Pretty
insane.
All my out-of-town buddies that aren't from here, like my buddies from Nashville because we're in high school, anybody that doesn't live here, when they talk about coming down, I'm like, 4th of July.
Yep.
First
Street at the beach is insanity with all the bikes.
Dude, it's unreal.
The bars are rocking, and people are rocking on the beach. And it's a fantastic time. I tell you what, I don't think I'm going to be here because July 4th is a very special day in my home because I met my wife on July 4th, and this year is the 25th year that I've known her, and she's the greatest, so, it's going to be a good thing. We were down in Orlando this week, and let me back up. Reverse Friday night. The dad bods, of course, was down at Finn McCool's in Ponte Vedra. I tell you, we hadn't played in about a month, but it was good to get back together. Decent crowd, not a huge crowd, but it was because, I don't know, the weather, the people weren't there, whatever. But the people that were there stayed, and that's always a good sign. They stayed through all 3 sets. We had a blast doing it. Great to be back at it. We're back at Culhane's in July the 12th. In Atlantic Beach, so that'll be fun. I went down to Orlando to watch our youngest perform in the national dance competition. She did a tremendous job with her solo. Now they got a week full of rehearsals and auditions and all this stuff in order to move on to whatever that next level may be. So the whole family was down there. We had a good time, including my mother-in-law. Stayed at the Omni Champions Gate. Have you ever been there? Really nice hotel. Great pools. Too expensive. Everything's expensive in Orlando, but that's just Orlando being the tourist city that it is. But a good time. I'm probably going to go back down Thursday and spend the night and then come back Friday. They come home late Friday night. There's a gala at the end. I'm not going to the gala. I'm going to watch the rehearsal and then hit the road, Jack. I tell you, the drive's not that bad. Last night we left around. Now, I drive fast, and I've come up with something, Grammage. I really have. The perfect speed limit on 95 or I-10 or whatever major
the perfect
highway.
Speed to where you're confident you won't get pulled over.
Correct.
But you're maximizing speed.
You're maximizing your speed. But you're not in jeopardy. You have a better chance of not getting pulled over at this speed. But I left around. It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes door to door. When there's no traffic, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And when you get through, it's funny, I'm sure a lot of people do this, especially you truckers out there. God bless you for doing all that work. But you have moments where okay, this drags a little bit, but then you hit certain exits, you're like, all right, bing, bing, bing. For instance, when you're coming up north and you're past Palm Coast, there's a little lull, and then you start hitting the St. Augustine exits. And next thing you know, you're at the Ponte Vedra Palm Valley exit. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. But the perfect speed I can't go slow. It drives. And I don't like going. I'm not 100-mile-an-hour guy. Like a lot. I mean, on occasion I will if I got to pass, and I just feel like I got to do that. But I figured this out. 90. So like the perfect speed. Let me just start with that. Is 85. The perfect speed is 85 because you can let go of the gas and you're down to 80 pretty quick. And all you need is like 79, 80 to where they're not going to pull you over. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a state trooper, but from what I've heard, that 9, 10, you go, if you're 15 over, you're getting pulled over. They're going to get you at 80. And if they clock you at 85, which again, if you're at 90, and I'm not opposed to 90, 90 is a good speed as long as you got the right car for it, right? You got to have a good car that handles well, big enough to, keep you safe, that kind of stuff. And can, I don't know. I used to love going 90 in my old Suburban. Are you kidding me? Down the highway? It was fantastic. It had a great engine. It was big. You didn't have to worry about, semis you got to worry about and other big trucks. But anyway, 85, I think, miles per hour is a perfect, if you want to go fast. If you don't, slide it on over. You know what I'm saying? And let the fast people go. I'm not a rabbit. I'm not, but I look for rabbits throughout my entire trip, right? So if there's a rabbit, if there's two rabbits, forget about it. It's like, what? You guys are going 100? I'm for sure is going 90 on your tails, without a doubt, because guess who's getting first? But here's another thing, Grammage, if I may. I don't use any devices, knock on wood, because I feel like if I rely on devices, I'm not paying attention. I pay attention a ton when I'm driving. I always need music in my ear. Like I'm looking for police officers. I'm looking for state troopers. I'm looking for lights down a little bit. Are they braking? Are they not? Who's coming up off the ramp? I got to check them out. What if I'm going 95 or 85 and here comes a trooper coming off the ramp and I don't pay attention to him? Guess whose fault it is for getting pulled over? It's my own fault. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't aware. So I don't want to rely on the machinery out there.
You're saying like. You're not using like GPS and stuff?
I don't use it. Oh, no. You mean for maps? I don't use Maze or Waze. I guess I could use Waze, but I don't. I mean, I use Apple Maps, to tell me where I'm going.
Like, what do you mean device? Like, what are you talking about?
Like a radar, radar detector, or, whatever they put in cars. You know what I'm talking about? Like a speed detector. Do they not have speed detectors anymore? I think they do. You plug them into your car and they I don't know, they get a little signal from a police officer in the area and ding, ding, ding.
Like tell you if a cop's coming?
No, or a cop's sitting there on the highway, tagging you,
Yeah,
no?
Well, like Waze will say that. Yeah. Like maps will tell you like, speed trap ahead and like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. It does on occasion.
I normally just do that. But even, like because it has those features, even if I know where I'm going, if I'm driving, an hour plus on the interstate, I am old Jamie. That's funny. I just GPS.
Okay, so it is on the apps. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to pay it anyway. I don't really pay attention. I use my eyes, is what I'm getting at. Like I really pay attention to what's in front of me and all around. And as long as I get tunage in my ear, and if I get tired, you know what the key is? Sunflower seeds. Cracking them open on what with your keeps your mind going.
Mine is loud music.
What's that?
Mine is loud music. If I get tired.
Loud music.
Like if I got a far drive, I'm a huge podcast guy.
Okay.
Obviously we're
but that could make you sleepy, I bet.
Yeah, like I like the podcast typically because I get lost in the conversation and time can go by fast and whatever. But yeah, if it's an early morning drive, get a little tired, or the afternoon kind of lull, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just crank the loudest music that I want to listen to, and then I'm good.
I open a window. The wind keeps me awake.
If I'm alone, I'll do the window. Right. If my fiance is with me, I
know. I live with women. I know.
The ladies don't like the
Dad,
window
what are you doing?
Pull my hair.
It's just a little wind. Take it easy. But anyway, 85 is my perfect miles per hour, I think, out there on the highway. All right, looking around, I found this story interesting. We're only going to talk about it really quick. The Celtics are up for sale. How about that? The majority ownership stake is up for sale for the Boston Celtics. How about this, Grammage? In 2002, the current majority owners bought in for $360 million, 2002. In 2023, February of 23, the Phoenix Suns sold for $4 billion.
That's crazy.
Prior to that, the Milwaukee Bucks went for $3.5 billion, and the Mavs went for $3.5 billion. That's just the majority stake, right? Which I don't know how they do it in the NBA. I think the NFL, you got to be at least 60, but you can be more than that, right? They shelled out. You saw the Jason Tatum deal, right? $314 million, 5 years, like the biggest ever. And Derek White got $124 million roughly. But no one blinks an eye, right? And why is it, right?
About the players?
They just, like, the money spent. No, yeah, the sale is the sale, but the money spent. Like, nobody, you don't say, oh, my gosh, they're paying. Is Jason Tatum the number one player? He's getting the biggest contract of all time.
Yeah.
Is he the biggest player? No, nobody cares. Why? I'll give you 18 reasons why. Because they have 18 titles. And when you win, nobody really cares. Right? And if you think back, like, think about, like, even just here locally, if they won, let's just say last year, win one more game and get in the playoffs and even maybe win a playoff game, is anybody complaining about anything with Trevor Lawrence getting paid $275 million? Maybe a small, tiny bit, thinking, all right, he's not, because they're thinking, like, right now, no, he's not the best. But guess what? That contract's going to get eaten up in the next year, 2 year, whatever, and he'll be, like we've said, about eighth. But think about that. You win. People don't care. They want the championships. They want the victories. That's all that a fan truly cares about.
The narrative would be that anytime Trevor Lawrence hasn't had the worst coach in the history of the NFL as his head coach, he's made the playoffs. That would have been the narrative.
No, right.
I'll take it a step further and make it really specific.
Yeah.
Had your last name namesake made that field goal against the Bengals to make the playoff. Now, trust me, I totally understand. You can't play that game because there's games they won. Or you can do the same thing.
Three things happened in that game: Kirk, Lawrence, and then that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand you can't play that game because there are games you won where, everybody wants to take nothing away from the games they won, but alter things to the games they lost. You can't do that. I get it. But it's literally just that field goal, and they would have made the playoffs.
True. Or, I don't know, show up for Tennessee when everything's on the line. That'd have been pretty good.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
I don't know. Everything's on the line and get playoff money, get in the playoffs, but don't show up.
Against a team that was not very good.
Against a team that wasn't very good. But, there are a lot of reasons for that. But that was one of them with McManus missing the field goal. And let's not, forget that Jake Browning looked like, Pro Bowl, All-Pro, phenomenal QB.
That was the start of him on, he had a 5-week tear where he was unbelievable.
Well, he tore us up. Nobody touched him. He sat back there and picked us apart.
Isn't that the weirdest thing in the NFL, how backups will come in and they'll just look like... Right.
You don't know, Sandlot football almost. So then it's like you just got to, you're not used to where they're going. They're just different.
It's just so funny because, like someone like yourself or me that's, really in the weeds of watching the games and kind of really is, a huge diehard fan, understands that when those backups come in, there's always this magical run and eventually it runs out.
Yeah.
And they get figured out. Yep. But the casual fan is like, oh, my God.
Look at Minshew.
Exactly.
Look at Minshew. He was incredible. Nobody knew what to do with him. Then they got him on tape and kind of figured him out. Now, look, granted to him, he's still playing. He's got a chance. I think Aiden O'Connell might be a little ahead of him with the Raiders, but I think he's in a battle through training camp.
But you know how this will go. If Aiden O'Connell's not any good the first 3 weeks of the year, Gardner Minshew's he's going to play.
Yeah, and people love him because he is that kind of, Sandlot football kind of guy, right? I don't feel like Mac Jones is much Sandlot. I don't know. He's not athletic enough to be Sandlot. You know what I mean? Just making a play.
He's not.
He's more of a system, got to be in the, knows the read, knows where to throw. Maybe can get to 1 to 2, you know what I mean? I don't think he's a playmaker no disrespect to you, Mac, but as a playmaker type, just going to go out there and make a play, right?
Well, he's
let me, if I may.
Yeah, sorry.
Throw Anthony Richardson in a game right now. Eventually, you might just say, just go make a play, son. Just go play, run, pass. I don't care. Don't throw it to the other team and don't fumble and don't get hurt, right? Just go make a play. That's what, backups off the bench, a lot of it is, you want them to be able to run your offense and be efficient and all that stuff. At the end of the day, they gotta figure it out. And they don't know anything about you, which gives you the upper hand, you know? They don't know the chemistry between maybe you and another, could be a second-string wide receiver because you throw to them all week during practice. You know, when the twos go, you're targeting the certain tight end or a certain wideout. So when they get to the game, you're comfortable and confident you're just going to go to them anyway. You know what I mean? So, but interesting enough, speaking of quarterbacks, JaMarcus Russell found himself in trouble. You know, I heard he's from Mobile, where my wife's family's from. He's from Mobile, Alabama. And I remember him coming out of college, of course, at Alabama and all that. But the one, what'd they say? He could throw the ball 75 yards from his knees. I was like, great. When does that ever happen in a game of football? Like, what are you talking about? Who cares? Well, he can throw it far. Well, great. You know what? A lot of guys can throw a ball far. Doesn't mean anything. But he found himself in some trouble. He was a volunteer coach at a high school. And allegedly went to a private booster and said, hey, we need some money for the weight room. Guys allegedly gave a check, and allegedly he took about 3/4 of it. Or no, he took all of it and then just took out himself about 3/4 of it, like right away. Allegedly, it's all alleged, but he's been let go.
Man,
shame, man. He made a ton of money. Look, I don't think I have empathy, but I understand. And I was on the low end of the NFL salary. I was. I mean, look, my first year, I think I made $119,000, and I thought it was like $2 million. I mean, I every week during the season, me and Pete Mitchell, we were on the same kind of level of contract. We'd get a $7,500 net, like a week. $7,500 from going from zero to $7,500 a week for 17 weeks because we had the bye week too. You're sitting like, man, this is incredible. Like, we'd go to the mall every week, buying clothes, helping people out, go out to dinners. I got it. Go out, friends come in town. I got it. It wasn't forced. You just want to do it. It's kind of like, your friends come in town and you just want to take care of them, because you can. You think you're going to play forever. That's the mistake a lot of us make. You think that, oh, you know what? Like, okay, I'll leave it myself. Our wedding, we talked about how much that was, and I don't regret any bit of it at all. It was phenomenal, but I was thinking, I'll get that in a sign-in bonus. I never got a big sign-in bonus, but it'd been enough to cover my wedding. Yeah, and it never happened. I thought I was going to play. Even after my injuries, I thought, no, I'm going to play. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't I? I'm healed. I'm ready. I'm in good shape. I'm ready to go. And I never played again. So it's that mentality. So take that to the millions. Now you're thinking, I could buy that car for 100 G. Yeah. Yeah, I got 19 more 100 Gs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that way. It would be, or at least some. I know I did from time to time. Now, I saved money. When I was done, I had almost $1 million saved in a portfolio. About 800 grand, I should say, closer to 800 grand, not $1 million. And for a guy that was never a high, I saved. Yeah. I saved and invested and all that, and it ran its course eventually, but it served me well. I was 29 years old with that in the thing. It didn't last my whole life, of course, but, so you can see it. It's a shame that nobody slaps you and just says, hey, just stop. You don't have to pay for everybody. You don't have to take care of the cousin. You don't have to put up your friends and cousins in, the Ritz-Carlton and let them have free will at the bar tab. Or, you know what I mean? You don't have to do those things because eventually it's over. Now, when you've got massive money, like, I don't know how you even handle that. You know what I mean? Like Trevor kind of money. Now, he's married, having a kid. He should be settled where he's not like just, hopefully, his wife is, got a saying like, no, we're not doing, like, let's not do. I love that little clip from Kylie Kelsey where she's like, you see how much these Super Bowl tickets, we're paying $6,000 for a kid that ain't even going to watch the games. It's crazy. We're not doing that. That's ridiculous, right? Level-headed stuff, which is good.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are worried about Trevor. Do it. He's like,
well, I mean, how do you run out of, I guess you could. Tyson ran out of what, 300 million?
Yeah.
He was buying Tigers. Like, no, I mean, because why? Because he could, and he thought he'd keep going, and then of course it stops and it crumbles, and you back down to whatever. And but that stuff happens
with JaMarcus. Let me tell you why, for me personally, I don't have any empathy for him.
Yeah, I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying I can understand how you, because someone out there would be like, how do you waste $23 million?
Right.
I know how.
Yeah.
I can see how.
So my issue with someone like JaMarcus Russell is he went on the Pivot podcast with Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, and Ryan Clark.
He did? Okay, I didn't see
this was
that.
a while ago. This wasn't recent. This was maybe at least a year ago, maybe 2.
Okay.
And I watched the whole episode because I was interested. I was like, oh, man, I haven't heard from him in forever. Man, they were on for about an hour.
Yeah.
That entire interview was nothing but excuses, dude.
Yeah.
And
that's why he's not playing. He didn't play very long.
From Fred, Channing, and Ryan's part, their show is not really a show where you're going to challenge people. A lot of times they're nice enough to invite you into their home and do the show.
Right.
It's not that type of show. So I wasn't blaming them for not really kind of questioning him on things. And
who was he blaming? The coaches, like the Raiders for drafting him, or what?
Anyone and everyone that was not JaMarcus Russell. Okay. Man. Like college
Well, that's
coaches,
why you're not in the, you didn't last very long.
Well,
that's
correct. And man, it was the Raiders' fault. It was Al Davis's fault. It was the coach's fault.
Yep.
Remember, you've heard that whole story.
Jay Smooth, what's up, babe?
I'm sure you've heard that whole story before about, like the tape, the film thing.
Yeah.
You've heard that story, right? So his offensive coordinator knew he wasn't watching film.
Oh, right.
So his offensive coordinator gave him a blank cassette tape, or not cassette tape, but DVD.
VHS or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. I think it was VHS. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, this is, the film of whatever. Like, go watch this. Goes home for the weekend, comes back on Monday. Hey, JaMarcus, what'd you think? Oh, it was great. And he's lying his ass off. He never watched it because he would have known it was a blank tape.
It was a blank tape.
And they asked him about that, and he was like, man, like why are they setting me up like that? And he was playing the victim.
They knew you weren't watching film.
Because you're the first overall pick, not watching film, bro. Like, And if he had just put even if he was never what he was cracked up to be,
my man. Yep.
Even if he had never become what he was drafted to be, if he was just a normal quarterback, showed up to work, did his job, he'd have had a 10-year career just off of being and he would have been a backup at some point.
He had tremendous skill. Tremendous skill.
He would have, after the first contract, probably gone and been a backup somewhere. But he could have had a 10, 15-year career just doing his job.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I have no empathy or sympathy, whatever you want to call it, for someone that doesn't want to show up to work and do their job.
Yeah, and makes excuses. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, especially QBs, you got to put in the work.
Yes.
You got to. The great Jimmy Smith saying hello. Hey, Jimmy, good morning. I mean, you asked Jimmy how hard he worked at his craft. All the time.
You've told me repeatedly about Jimmy being on the treadmill, doing the sprints.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, but out on the field, beating press, working on his hand. I mean, they all did it. Keenan, him, Reggie, Willie, all of them. Curtis Marsh. I mean, they put in their time. And that's what it takes. It's not, everyone thinks it's talent. It's not. It is talent. You got to have that talent. But it takes those kind of guys that want to continue to work. The greatest ones work their, asses off. Because it means something to them every single time. Extremely hard work. You're right, Jay Smooth. You're right about that. All right, CBS Sportsline. Jeff Kerr put out a top 20 offensive tackle list recently. Now, that's right tackle and left tackle. All right, so what do we got? We've got Anton, we've got Cam, we've got Walker. Javon, we don't know about. How many do you think made the top 20?
Made the top 20. So
there's top 20.
So there's 20 left tackles.
20, no. Right, left. Doesn't matter left or right.
Okay.
Top 20 offensive tackles in the game. How many Jags made that list?
1.
0.
Okay.
Not even a mention of Anton, which I don't know. I would question that. He's needs another year to back up last year, and he jumps in there. But it brought me to, look, again, rankings you can't get too crazy about. But once again, it's another, that's just like, it's like nationally, nobody's thinking we got anything going on here. Our defensive line was ranked 25th, even with adding Eric Armstead, like 25th, and the bookends we have, like, really? Like, I'm not expecting 5 or maybe even 8, but like 10, 12, like they're not in 25th. The team is 20th, 19th, offensive tackle. There's nobody. Trevor, look, I understand that Trevor, he's not there yet. We hope that he'll get there into that jump, the top whatever. But it's wild look, unless Javon Foster is a find, like is it just a gem of a pick? Hey, look, he was all SEC, first team left tackle for 2 years. That's out of Missouri. That's big. I mean, that's big. I mean, that means he's holding his own against some really good defensive linemen in the SEC. That doesn't mean it translates to the NFL. I'm not saying that. But maybe it does. And maybe he becomes your other bookend. I mean, I don't know. I believe in a healthy Cam. I just don't know how healthy Cam will be. I hope it's the whole year. A healthy Cam, I'll take. Even if prior to the year before, I had him ranked pretty high. He had a really good year the year before last, 2022. Cam Robinson had a hell of a year. It was him and Juwan Taylor, if you remember. Juwan had a great year, and so did Cam. Both of them had very, very good years. At the end, it kind of crumbled a tiny bit, but overall, they played their asses off.
Well, Cam got hurt in the Cowboys game, I believe, right? Late in the season.
What's that?
Cam got hurt in the Cowboys game late in the season in 2022.
He missed like 4 games, I think. Didn't he 3 or 4? Because Walker took over.
Yes.
Didn't Walker take over for 3 or 4 games and held his own? Mm-hmm. He held his own, but Cam was playing some outstanding football. And Juwan, we saw what happened with Juwan. He got his deal and took off, right, which he should have. But it does concern me.
False starting every play.
Yeah. We'll see how they handle that this year. But it does when you think about it. I'm not concerned about a 25th ranking of a defensive lineman, of the defensive line. I'm not concerned I'm concerned about the offensive line. I'm concerned that they didn't do enough to protect Trevor. I mean, you just gave Trevor and you should. I get it. He's our guy. He's our franchise guy. But you've really got to protect. He can't get hit like last year. And just giving me that, the 5 that are in line right now only played 1 game, so that means automatically he's going to be protected. I don't believe that. I got to see that. And Cleveland didn't come into midway through the year, so it wasn't your plan from week 1. I'm sorry, it wasn't. It ended up being that way. But, again, Shad Khan says no excuses win, so that's all that matters. But it does concern me. Will they do anything to address the offensive line? We'll talk about that in just a minute. I do want to mention Brandon Ayuk. He says he wants to stay with the 49ers, but he wants to get paid. I mean, this is good. What do you think Tyreek Hill's going to want? Justin Jefferson's what, $35 million? Granted, considered the top wide receiver in the game, right? 1 or 2. Justin is. You got to give him that. Tyreek Hill. What are you thinking? He's thinking. You know what I mean? What's he going to want? When is that number going to go up? They're talking about a salary cap for QBs. I get it. Are you going to have salary caps for each position that get out of hand? You know what I mean? Because think about it. If you're Tyreek, say you wait a year and you have another big year. I want 40 a year, right? Jamar Chase, a couple years down the road, he's like, well, hey, man, I've been kicking it. Look at my numbers, Maybe somebody else. It'll be 50 a year. You watch. It'll be 50 a year at that position. I mean, look at the defensive end position in a year. You could have got Josh Allen for 23 a year 2 years ago, right? You got him for what, 31, 30, whatever it ended up being? 1 year, $8 million. That could be the jump, depending on the position. A wide receiver might even be a little bit higher, maybe 10 mil. So that'll be interesting. But look, Ayuk comes off 23, 75 catches, 1,342 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now, with all those weapons, that's pretty phenomenal. You know what I mean? The touchdowns don't make me, go crazy, but, that guy's ultra talented. There's no doubt about that. But he does have, a lot of weapons around him. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be comfortable paying him that kind of money, because that kind of money, you're the true number 1. You're the true X. That's where you go. That's who you are. The best defenders coming over to defend you. You're the go-to guy. You're the game breaker. You're the game. You know what I mean? Like, is he that? Is he a Jimmy Smith? Is he a Tyreek Hill? Is he a true number 1 if you're going to pay him that kind of money? Not to stay with San Fran, I don't think I would.
There's no way.
I don't know. You got Debo. We talked about this, I think, a week or two. Like Debo, Kittle. I mean, you got a lot of McCaffrey.
There's no way you pay Ayuk that type of money and you keep the 3 guys you just said, plus Trent Williams.
Yeah, right.
And I'd say Trent Williams is as important, if not more, than everyone we just said.
Well, he's the number 1 OT, but we already knew that in that ranking.
Well, right.
And he's phenomenal.
Well, let's say that both those guys were here in Jacksonville, and Ayuk was saying what he wants and everything. Who would you rather keep?
Yeah.
To me, it's Trent Williams. Not even a question.
Oh, without a question.
It's not even.
No. You need him. That left tackle. It just shows.
It's not even a.
When you got a dominant left tackle, or just a left tackle that you don't got to worry about that side. Oh, you kidding me? And your quarterback is like, man, I'm living in a lap of luxury, baby. I don't got to worry about my blind side. I got to worry about what's in front of me. If I'm right-handed, I can see everything, right? The one I can't see is that left tackle. Once I snap the ball and turn, I can't see him a lot of times.
Particularly if I'm John Lynch and I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, if I lose Ayuk, it's not like I'm out of weapons,
right?
Dude, I got the second best tight end in football.
Yep.
And the best blocking tight end in football, the second best receiving tight end. And then I got the best running back in the game.
Yep.
I've got the best running back receiver playmaker in the game.
Yep.
I just drafted a receiver.
Like Jennings.
By the way,
Jennings is a good player.
By the way, something we're forgetting about. They just drafted a receiver in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
They obviously have high hopes for Ricky Pearsall. They took him 30th, I think?
Yep.
To me, when they drafted Ricky Pearsall, that told me everything I needed to know about
Ayuk
if they were going to pay him.
Yeah. Well, I'd keep, look, if you can get a first rounder for him, but if not, just keep him there. And once they start playing and, nobody wants to give up those paychecks. It might take to the regular season, but you really don't want to give those up, especially no matter what year player you are. But that's a lot of money to give up. And you want to play football because you're a football player, and then you'll hopefully do enough to where, next year you really have a commanding position. I think what hurts him is like we were saying, there's just so many weapons there. How do I pay you $35 when I got to pay Kittle to be one of the top. I got to pay Debo again. I got to pay Trent again. Purdy. I'm going to pay Purdy. He's my guy. Are you kidding me? This guy's incredible for our offense. So it'll be interesting how that all shakes down. All right, we are going to get into some Jags talk, remaining free agents to maybe come in and help. We'll see what you think about that. My show brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Of course, you see my T-shirt, J-Dog. Junk removal and hauling, veteran-owned and operated. You contractors, you builders, home builders, they'll come take away your construction debris. Give them a shot, 844-GET-JDOG. Of course, if you get clipped and thrown into jail, clipped, is that a word? Sure, why not? You get thrown into the clink. Well, my friend Chris Lucero and his team, his bail bonds team, gets you out in a blink. Make sure you check them out, 904-822-2245. He helps. And in a time of darkness, he's a shining light because he gets you out of the clink and gets you back into life and healing and all that good stuff. Graffiti American Burger Bar. Check out the McManus Burger. It's a good one, man. Swiss cheese. That list, man. Don't back in third grade, I used to have to take these speech classes. They throw a piece of macaroni on my tongue and try to, get this list out of my mind. Sometimes it comes out. R's and L's and N's are sometimes a real big problem as well. But you have to worry about that with the McManus Burger because it's avocado, it's bacon, it's Swiss cheese, and it's a big old fat patty. So make sure you check them out. Great TVs all throughout. Great sports bar, family friendly. They got games, video games, pool table, etc. Great place to hang out. Michael Nick is a State Farm agency. He's my agent. He should be yours as well. Listen, he's covered me and my family for over 20 years. You're talking home, life, auto, and supplemental health. Him and his team, 24/7. They can help you out, man. Make sure whether it's for you personally or for your business, check out Michael Nickus' State Farm agency. see Beach Life Rentals up and down the beach, man. I tell you, they're looking for, you got a young kid, high school, college, they're looking for workers, dedicated workers that are going to be committed, setting up, chairs, setting up umbrellas, making sure people get their paddle board and all that good stuff, and then taking it back and all that good stuff. It's good pay. You'll be out in the sun. It's a good job. They also own Salt Air Inn and Suites, which is a nice boutique hotel. If you're from out of town or if you're in town and you want to get away for the weekend or night, whatever, check out Salt Air Inn and Suites in Atlantic Beach. Code Ninja, great place to get your kids educated and certified in IT, in technology, in, of course, security as well. They handle it all. Building with Roblox and Minecraft. Code Ninjas, 4 great locations for you to check out and get your kid into a camp. Family tradition, specialty foods, home of Coconut Joe's hot sauces, and make sure you take advantage of the BOGO free. All right, buy one, get one free. That's right. All you got to do when you check out on the cart, put in the discount bar, pound Team Tommy Mac, and get that BOGO free. Azar sausage. I'm going to see the Azar brothers today to go say hello. Maybe grab some sausage for the 4th of July weekend. Great on the grill, great with any dish or in the bun. Azar sausage is the one. Check them out in local Winn-Dixie stores and Carpet Man Flooring. Yeah, it's the Carpet Man slashing up the prices up there alone. You know what I'm saying? And with the highest quality you'll ever find. That's right, Carpet Man Flooring. Check him out in Orange Park on Wells Road, and then right near Craig Airfield on St. John's Bluff Road. Highest quality of all types of flooring at the lowest prices. And, of course, I'm here, part of the 1010XL family. That's Team Tommy Mac. I love them all. Hey, make sure you just tap on their, when I tag them, just tap on their little handle there, and I'll take you right to their Facebook page and everywhere else, and you can check them out for yourself. All right, Grammage, remaining free agents to maybe help the Jags. Final piece to the puzzle. I'm sure a lot of teams are thinking this, right? What do you normally get, in this kind of situation? A pass rush, right? Situational. Right? I need someone to come off the bench. I don't need him to, start for me. I just need him to come off the bench. I'm running out of juice, so I'm going to have to hurry it up. I'm going to just need him to come off the bench and help me, get some pressure on the QB, get 5, 6, 7 sacks, that type of thing. Maybe a backup lineman, just in case. You might wait till somebody gets hurt. But I would think a pass rush is probably number one out of that mix.
This is how the Ravens got Jadeveon Clowney last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This exact thing you're talking about.
He was in our building, too.
I know.
Ouch. Yeah, he was fantastic. Hey, if I do crap out on mine, just check over to 1010XL, although we'll be wrapping it up here shortly. I'm going to head over to Jaguars today and visit with Mike, and Doom's outside. They got a cook-off outside, man. I'm going to get a burger, too, man, while I'm here. What the hell? Why not? But anyway, all right, so I'm thinking for position-wise, O-line, I wouldn't mind it. There are a couple guys I got in mind. Edge, yep. I could see one of these guys, and there may be more, but I could see one of these guys that could be available. There's a corner I would try to fit in. I don't know if you could. And then I threw safety. You don't really need one. But I think this guy's so good that, it costs you a lot of money. Might not be a fit, but I'm still surprised he's a free agent. So we'll go through that. But let's start with, look, again, I hope the offensive line totally works out, right? Of course. Stay healthy, play great, keep your quarterback clean, and help ETN and Bigsby have some big games. Getting physical, getting mean and nasty and all that. I mean, that's the hope. That's what you want. I'm more of at this point, I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? Talk is cheap. Excuses are weak. I don't know. But I want to see this group really, and I hope they do come together. But I'm just not. And again, I haven't seen Javon Foster, so it's kind of hard to, really say that. Because what if you're like, wow, this kid can really play? He may. It wouldn't be the first time a fourth rounder, just defied the, draft, measurable odds and became a starting tackle.
There's fourth round picks all over the league that are great starting lineman.
And what did Balky say? Remember, I'm such an idiot, too, and I'll take the medicine, Trent. What did I say? I said, that's the biggest smokescreen he's thrown out there before the draft. Remember that? When he said, there are starters in this draft in the offensive line, 4th and 5th and 6th round. Remember that? I was like, oh, he's bluffing. He's going offensive line. You know what I mean? Like, he's basically saying, no, we don't need one in the first round. We'll get him in the 4th or 5th or 6th. Maybe Javon Foster is that guy. So it remains to be seen. The one guy, now I don't know if you can get him. And he's coming off an ACL, but he should be fully healed. You might not have to play him right away. But Connor Williams from the Dolphins. Now, he could play guard. He played center, too. I understand that. He wouldn't be coming here to play center. Granted, if anything happened to Mitch Morse, he would be, if he's healthy, a better fit than Fortner. He would. Before his knee injury, Connor Williams is a pretty darn good player and highly sought of center throughout the National Football League. So he's one guy I'd keep an eye on, and at least try to see if he's going to, be healthy enough to perform. David Bakhtiari. Now, I know what you're going to say. He hasn't played. I mean, this guy's missed so many games. I'm not paying him jack shit, to be honest with you, but at least not up front. But I wouldn't mind having a look-see at him. That guy is mean and nasty. He's still considered, when healthy, and he hasn't been, when healthy, he's still one of the top. He was number 16, even being hurt and even missing all those games on that list. Take it for what it's worth. So those two guys I'd be interested in at least taking a look at and seeing if they're healthy enough to contribute. Again, I don't need them day one. I don't need them right away, but I want to know that they're there in case I do need them, and maybe I do need to upgrade, and maybe I do need to figure some things out on the O-line, as we move along. Edge, there's a few guys out there. Carl Lawson comes to mind. I like him. Now, I know he's had an Achilles, but 2 years removed from that. Former first-round pick. I liked him out of Auburn. I really did like him out of Auburn. I thought he was going to be a good one. Jerry Hughes, kind of long in the tooth, but can still get after the QB. Yannick, Ngakwe's out there, man. Yannick Ngakwe's out there. Yannick, I call him Yannick. Ngakwe's out there. I don't know. Can you fit him in? Be an interesting addition, wouldn't it? 1 year, $8 million. You got the room. He's great off the bench, man. He can get you 10 sacks. You know, who knows? You got to slide people around. You slide in Trayvon. You got him. That could be an interesting thing there. I put down Emmanuel Agba. He really wants to be a starter, though, so I don't think that's going to be a fit. A 4-3 defensive end starter, that's not going to be a fit here. Could you pull off something for Hassan Reddick, who's disgruntled with the New York Jets? Now, you'd have to pay him money, so that's probably not a good fit. But I would, if I'm Trent and if I'm Doug, I might, let training camp get going. Let's see what we got with a little bit of pad action, a little one, let's just see what we have. But let's keep our eye on some free agents that maybe could help us. My corner is Xavier Howard. Again, you'd have to pay him, but in the right system, I think he's a press guy too. He's been around a while, but he can still play at a high level. And the safety's Justin Simmons. I know he's a Boston College alum. That's not why I picked him, but he, to me, is one of the top safeties in the game. I'm shocked he's still a free agent. But he'll get picked up at some point. We don't need him. I get that. But I'm looking for a missing piece that's going to make my team better. I think for the Jags, it's either up front in the offensive line or on the edge on the defensive line, at least in my opinion. How about you, Grammage? Would you look forward to anybody, any position to add to before 2024 regular season gets kicked off and we'll say goodbye?
I really like the third down pass rusher concept.
It'd be a total difference maker.
Man, I would love it if you can do one or two things on obvious pass rush situations. If you brought in like an Ngakoue type, him or you're right, Reddick would probably be too expensive, but that kind of player, I would love if you could either scoot Trayvon inside and then put that guy at edge, whoever that guy is, or you keep Trayvon outside and you let whoever you bring in play the 2022 Arden Key role and let that guy just annihilate a guard.
Yeah, right.
That was really, really, really effective for them in 2022. And that helped them cause a lot of turnovers on third downs. That was a big deal for them.
Put Trayvon on the outside edge of a guard on third down and see what happens. You watch. He'll destroy that guard.
Yeah.
I mean, not the best guards in the league. He's not going to destroy, but his power and speed, and if he's got some additional moves that he's been working on, I think that's something, man.
You get that because,
and then if you can add Ngakwe or somebody like that, they can really pressure off the edge.
Because Arden Key was really, really effective, being that off the bench guy, third down, that little extra oomph to get to the quarterback.
Yep.
And then you and I were big Dwan Smoot guys, but he's just not the same player anymore. The Achilles is not there how it used to be, and he was really good in that type of role. Yep. That's one guy that won't make or break the season, but can help close out some games, I think.
No doubt, yeah. I mean, especially at the end when you got to have a sack. Someone's got to make a play.
You're up
fresh
7
off the bench.
You're up 7 points late in the fourth. Minute left. The other team's trying to score. They got 3rd and 5.
Yep.
And you need to wrap up the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Man, you get another.
Not to mention you got Josh, you got Trayvon, you got other guys that can do it too. But
think about Josh, Trayvon, Armstead, and I've got Ngakwe.
Yeah, right.
And I've got a guy like that.
Yeah, Carl Lawson, something like that. Just off the bench, man.
And all 4 of them are just pinning their ears back, teeing off, and getting after it. That would make me feel a lot better about closing out some games where you might have a lead late in the fourth.
Was I wrong on Simmons? Dale's asking about, did he get picked up? Did Tennessee pick him up? I don't think.
Who is that you said?
Justin Simmons, the safety from Denver.
That sounds right, actually.
Yeah,
let me see.
Man, I hope not. Trevor don't like him. He likes Trev.
Right.
He throws him the ball. But Trevor don't like him, man. I don't want him facing it twice. Listen, you never know in this league. You just never know, and hopefully our Jags, who cares about the damn rankings? I don't really care because at the end of the day, they just got to get out there and improve, prove it. I'm looking for a physical camp. I'm going to say that till they get going. I hope it's a more physical camp and they do more one-on-one, mano-a-mano type work. And also as, team units. What do we got? To the Titans?
Simmons is still available.
He is available.
Yeah,
that's what. Okay, good. All right, so my brain's still working. That's a good thing. And we're going to move on to a Tuesday. Going to get a burger. I know it's early, but so what? I'm going to eat it anyway. 4th of July, forthcoming. So listen, happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Look, man, I could go on and on about our country. I think the media makes everything out to be a lot worse than it is. I think most people are good people. They just live your life. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt others. Don't break the law. Just be cool and enjoy it. I think most people in this world feel that way. I'd like to think that. I know I do. And I know this country, although we've got some things and issues and blah, not blah, 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 they're real. This is the greatest country in the freaking world. There's no doubt about it. You're still able to do what you want for the most part. Are we truly free? If I was in political talk show, I'd talk about that. I'm not going to get into that. But we are the freest country out there, in my opinion, and we are a fantastic country. It doesn't matter. A lot of things do matter, right? But what doesn't matter is, what you look like in this world, hopefully anymore, especially in this country, and what you believe in and all that. As long as you're good, we can all enjoy a great country that our military fights for, and that's fantastic. God bless you all. God bless America, and happy 4th of July. We'll see you next time right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac on 1010XL's podcast platform, and brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Peace and love out there. Have a great week.